How did she do it? How did she do it? She did it to me again. Oh, hey, watchers. Good to see ya. I'm glad you're tuning in. Today, I don't know how she did it, but today, we're going to be talking about, and this episode today is all about baking. And also it's about spending time with this wonderful lady that I love, my beautiful wife, Nora. Today on this episode, we're going to be making my wife's favorite thing, cupcakes. She's going to show how she's going to make her cupcakes, and I'm going to take on the challenge of doing some baking myself, and it's going to be awesome. So fasten your seatbelts, everybody. It's time to watch me bake. Doesn't sound right. Never will sound right. Hit my music.
Time to watch me cook.
Baking. Something, in the words of Chef Robert Irvine, I disliked it intensely. But you know what? Like I've said before, as an instructor, I've had to teach this, and I've come around and it's started to grow on me. But I really want to do this. I want to make some cupcakes, and most importantly, I want to spend time with this very special lady, my beautiful wife, Nora, and she's been making cupcakes for a very long time. So let's take a look at my gorgeous wife in action.
When it comes to making cupcakes, nobody does it like my wife, Nora. She's been making cupcakes for a very long time. Here you can see she just made a fresh batch of her watermelon cupcakes, and she's pulling them out of the oven right now. Those look really, really good. And as a husband, I'm super proud of my wife, and you know what? She looks super cute making cupcakes. Gotta make time for some snuggles. Husbandly duty. Nora's been making cupcakes for kids at the Levin for years. As you can see, she puts a lot of love and detail into the cupcakes that she makes. This batch of watermelon cupcakes she's putting the details on because they're going to a party for some young people at our church. And when it comes to cupcakes, they're always the bomb, and my wife never ever forgets to garnish. How could you not love that?
Alright, cool. How could you not love that? I mean, every time I see that, I just fall in love with my wife all over again. In fact, one of the best and really a special moment for me was her birthday a couple years ago, and I planned a little surprise party for her, and we got together with some of her friends, and we planned a little cupcake making party for my wife, and she was smiling the whole time. She was happy, and she was surrounded by a group of women who really encourage her and empower her, and it was a really great thing to be able to do for her and for all of these ladies who make my wife feel so good about herself. And of course I threw down with some food, but it was fun. All right, time to plan the menu. Now some of you guys saw in the picture and you noticed, hey, his wife is using a box cake mix to make cupcakes. Well, here's my answer to that. So what? Some people, they make their cupcakes from scratch. It's great. Baking is a science. It's a very challenging thing. Some people feel intimidated by scratch-made recipes. And you know what? My wife does use some box cake mixes sometimes. And she doctors them up the way she wants. Like her watermelon cupcakes, she uses watermelon puree instead of the liquid to mix the batter together, and it came out great. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need to use a box cake mix until you feel comfortable with making cupcakes from scratch, I say go for it. Okay, we all saw Nora's cupcakes, and now it's my turn. So this is what I'm going to do. On the menu today, I'm going to be making a beautiful pound cake made with lard, and I'm going to use a maple bacon caramel glaze for it. That's right, we're making cupcakes, and the secret ingredient is pork. But also, I want to do something savory, something to channel my inner chef. So we're also going to do a lasagna cupcake, which was inspired by a chef that I really respect, Chef Manushka Gary A. So, but first things first, let's get our me's.
Now we shop.
So we're back from the store, and I'm getting ready to go make these Manteca pound cake cupcakes. And you know what? I decided I'm going to challenge myself this time. I'm going to take this beautiful decadent dessert, and I'm going to make it completely sugar-free. That's right, I said sugar-free. But first things first, let's get our me's.
First thing we're going to use is a half a pound of lard, and then we're going to use a half a pound of all-purpose flour. And then we're going to use a half a pound of sugar-free sweetener. Not going to name any brands here, but we're going to make this sugar-free. And also, we're going to use 4 eggs. And we're going to start bringing this stuff together. First thing you want to do is you want to put the lard into the bowl. Use a spoon. Make sure you get all of it and get it into the bowl. And after you're done with that, the next thing you want to do is you're going to add your sugar-free sweetener substitute. Make sure you clean up your hands and clean as you go. That's what I always do. Now you're going to add your sugar-free sweetener into the bowl, and now you're going to start whisking using an electric mixer. Alright, we've just added the flour. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, and now we're going to whisk this again. And we're going to bring everything together and get ready to add our eggs. This is going to be a delicious pound cake, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Everything's incorporated, and now when you're adding your eggs, make sure you add them one at a time and incorporate everything together. Make sure that you mix everything thoroughly so everything's incorporated and you get a nice, consistent cake batter. Alright, cake batter's done. I'm just cleaning up the beaters a little bit. Now it's time to get these into the muffin tin and get them into a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes. And when you're baking, don't forget to spray your pan. We don't want any sticky messes. Here I'm using a serving spoon. Make sure you scoop it up and put these in the muffin tins, and make sure you make them all nice and even. We want to have consistent cupcakes when we bring them out.
Alright, the cupcakes are in the oven. Now it's time to work on this maple bacon caramel glaze. I'm going to actually use some Truvia for this, and I'm also going to use some sugar-free maple flavored syrup instead of real maple syrup because I want to keep it sugar-free. Like I said before, I'm type 2 diabetic, and I want to make this something that
First, start off with a half a pound of bacon and cut it up into small pieces, just like this, using your knife. Get your bacon started in a cold pan and start heating it up and start rendering off all that fat. That fat is key, so don't strain it. When the fat is rendered off, you're going to start adding your sugar-free substitute to the pan. And you want to make sure that you get enough in there and it's going to come together with your bacon fat, because that's how it's going to make your caramel sauce. So right now, as you can see, I'm putting that in there and we are getting that done. Once your sugar-free sweetener and the baking fat have come together and your pan is nice and hot, add about 3/4 of a cup of sugar-free maple-flavored pancake syrup, and you're going to get a consistency like this. When you're done with that, make sure you let it cool down, and as you can see, the cupcakes are done. I'm going to pull them out of the oven, and they look GBD, golden brown and delicious. Awesome. Lay your cupcakes in a disposable tray and get ready to put on the glaze. Once your glaze is cooled down and thickened up, pour it over your cupcakes immediately.
Alright, the cupcakes are in the oven, they're getting ready to bake, and now it's time to start working on my lasagna cupcakes. And you know what? I got an idea. Alright, so we're a real show here at Watch Me Cook, and yes, sometimes we have a menu change. So one thing that everybody is doing lately, and this is a big thing, a lot of people are going gluten-free. Now this lasagna cupcake was inspired by a very great chef, Chef Manushka Guerrier. I watched her on Private Chefs in Beverly Hills, and I keep in touch with her on social media, and she originally used wonton wrappers for it. I wanted to use a gyoza. But now I decided I'm going to take some thin slices of butternut squash and use them in place of gyozas or wontons, and keep this dish gluten-free for all of the gluten-free people who are watching this program. So we have one cupcake that's diabetic friendly, sugar-free, and we have one cupcake that is gluten-free. So let's do it.
Start off with crushing 2 cloves of garlic, and then after that, take a knife and start chopping your garlic up immediately and mincing it to get it ready to put into your sauce. Using your knife, dice a whole onion and get it ready to go into your sauce, and make sure you dice it small. Just finishing up dicing my onion. Using a heavier knife, it's time to cut the butternut squash. As you can see, I'm cutting it through and taking off the top part. Peel the top part of the butternut squash using a peeler or a knife, and then you want to cut the squash into thin slices using a Japanese mandolin. In a bowl, add 1 pound of ricotta cheese and get ready to add 1 egg. Crack your egg and add the ricotta cheese to the bowl and start beginning to stir it. This will help the ricotta cheese set during baking. Using a wooden spoon or a rubber spatula, start mixing your ricotta and your egg together. Now it's time to start sweating your onions and your garlic. Let's get it done, and don't forget to season. Now the onions are getting nice and brown, and that's what we want. Nice caramelization. Always makes things taste better. Add 1 pound of ground beef and cook it down until it's completely brown. And when you're cooking, don't ever forget to season your food. Add 1 can of tomato paste and start cooking that tomato paste out till it gets caramelized. Here I added some vegetable stock, and now I'm going to stir this in, and I'm going to let my sauce reduce. For extra flavor, I'm adding a tablespoon of dried basil. Check your sauce and stir the bottom and make sure it doesn't burn, and let it reduce till it evens out. In a sprayed cupcake pan, lay your thin pieces of butternut squash on the bottom to start your base. Second, add your sauce and create that first layer to go on your mini lasagnas. Next, add a layer of your ricotta cheese mixture and cover the sauce with it, and now you're going to repeat the process over again. Now it's time to add the second layer of the butternut squash, and if you have to, break them up a little bit to create that layer so they'll fit in your cupcake pans. Add your sauce on top to create that final layer. Oh, it looks good. To complete this dish, make your top layer with some mozzarella cheese and get ready to put it in a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes.
Cooked them for 15 minutes at 400 degrees and brought them out of the oven. Lasagna cupcakes are out and they're looking good. Lasagna cupcake. Done. All right, the lasagna cupcakes are done. The manteca or lard pound cake cupcakes are done. And you know what? When I make stuff like this, I always like to get some taste testers and get their opinion on things. So I decided who better to taste this than my very good friends from my church, the young people of our church, Mason, Jeremiah, and Makaira from Real Life Church Fairfield. And now we're going to go to Thursday at the Park.
Bacon or like sugar bacon?
Take a bite. Nora. Take a bite.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on.
This is good. It's,
It's like a bacon pancake.
yeah.
Yeah, like a breakfast.
It's really good.
Bacon pancake? Really? I'll take it. That's awesome. Thank you, Mason. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you, Mac, for trying my delicious creation. And of course, as always, you always share a sweet dessert with the one you love. All right, go try it.
That's pretty good.
Good?
Yeah.
Well, that was a lot of fun, guys. We made some really, really great cupcakes. You got to see my wife in action, and it was just a really, really great time today. Now, was today about making cupcakes and baking? Yes, it was, but it was also about something else. It was about making sure you take time to spend time with the ones you love, to spend time with the people that care about you and the people that you care about as well. I don't bake, but my wife does, and she loves it, and I wanted to spend time with her. And if something's important to her, it's important to me too. Just like you. And yeah, I'm talking to you. You are important as well. You are amazing. And in life, you're going to have people who aren't going to be behind you. They're not going to believe you. They're going to say, you can't do it. That's when you look them in the face and say, watch me. Watch me get that job. Watch me get that promotion. Watch me get into college. Watch me empower myself and watch me prove you wrong. I thank you guys today for watching me and my wife bake today. And go spend some time with the ones you love. Make them a priority. Go be awesome. Get out of here, and we'll see you next time.